Welcome back to another episode of Hospitality Insight with the SilverFox. That's me, Stephen Hickmore. Last Friday night, I sat down with a friend for what we thought would be a very casual dinner. No extravagance, no tasting menu, no top-shelf champagne, just two mains, a shared starter, and a couple of glasses of wine each. The bill came to just over 1,200 Rand. Now, that's the moment, isn't it? That slight pause when the card machines arrive. That quick mental calculation. That unspoken thought. Surely this is getting out of hand. And here's the thing. Most people in that moment assume one of two things. Either the restaurant is overcharging, or someone somewhere is making a very healthy profit. But what if it's neither? What if that 1,200 Rand bill is actually a business just barely holding itself together? Behind that one dinner bill is an entire reality, is not what most people think. There's a question I hear more and more these days, usually whispered at first and then said out loud after the second glass of wine. Why is eating out so expensive now? And it's a fair question. You go out for what used to be a casual dinner, and suddenly you're staring at a bill that feels more like a small investment than a night out. But here's the twist. Most restaurants aren't making more money. In fact, many are making less. So what's going on? So let's start with perception. As a guest, you see a steak for 280 Rand. Say a burger for 180, a glass of wine for 95, and you think, these guys must be printing money. It looks expensive. But price is not profit. That 280 Rand steak, by the time it hits your table, it's already been carved up, financially speaking, into a dozen different pieces. And most of them don't go into the owner's pocket. So let's break it down simply. Every dish that leaves the kitchen carries four major cost burdens. Number one, food cost. This is the obvious one. Ingredients. But what most people don't realize is how volatile this has become. Beef prices fluctuate. Imported goods spike with currency swings. Waste creeps in. Energy prices go up. That steak on your plate is not just the raw product. It's trimming, spoilage, shrinkage, and the cut that didn't sell yesterday. Number two, labor. Now this is a big one, and it's getting bigger. Restaurants are very labor-intensive by nature. Chefs, waiters, runners, cleaners, managers. For years, hospitality has relied on underpaid, overworked people. Now that's changed, and it should. But better wages don't magically appear. They get built into the menu price. Number three, overheads. Rent, electricity, water, insurance, licenses, POS systems. If you're in a decent location, your rent alone can swallow 10 to 15% of your revenue. Suddenly your overheads look like a second payroll. Number four, VAT and compliance. In South Africa, 15%, that's VAT, goes straight off the top before the owner sees a cent. Let me simplify this with a rough example. You spend 1,000 Rand in a restaurant. 150 goes to VAT. Around 300 to 350 goes to food cost. Another 300 or so to labor. 150 to 200 Rand to overheads. What's left? If the restaurant is run well, maybe 50 to 100 Rand. Now that's a 5 to 10% margin on a good day. But on a bad day, there's no margin. There's just survival. So if margins are tight, why does it feel more expensive than ever? Three reasons. Firstly, inflation. For years, restaurants absorbed increases quietly. Smaller portions, tighter margins, subtle adjustments. Now they can't anymore. So the price jumps, and you notice it. Secondly, the middle market is disappearing. The comfortable, affordable in-between restaurant is under serious pressure. That's why a simple night out feels like a luxury. Thirdly, customer expectations have gone up. People want better interiors, better service, better plating, better everything, but better costs money. You can't demand a premium experience at a budget price. That equation doesn't work. Here's something we don't talk about enough. Eating out is no longer just about food, it's about experience. It's about how you feel. I've spoken about this in a couple of episodes. And ironically, that's part of the problem, because when the experience doesn't match the price, even if the maths is justified, you feel cheated. Not because it was overpriced, but because it didn't feel worth it. That's a dangerous gap for restaurants. So put yourself in the owner's shoes for a moment. You've got two choices. Option one, keep prices low and hope volume saves you. It usually doesn't. Option two, raise prices to survive and risk losing customers. Now, neither option is comfortable, so what happens? Many operators sit in the middle, slightly underpricing and slowly burning out. That's why you're seeing closures, not because restaurants are greedy, because the model is fragile. Most restaurants are accurately priced for a broken economy model. What feels expensive is actually the true cost of fair wages, quality ingredients, reliable infrastructure, consistent service. We've just been conditioned over many years to expect all of that for less than it actually costs. So where does this leave you, the guest? When you do go out, it becomes more intentional, more selective, more experience-driven, and perhaps more appreciated. Behind that plate of food is a business walking a financial tightrope. And for those in hospitality, especially students and young professionals, you're not entering an easy industry. You're entering a complex, evolving, often unforgiving one, but also one that's full of opportunity. For those who understand the numbers, not just the passion, the future belongs to operators who can balance both. And I'm not saying don't open a restaurant. It can be a fantastic business. But go in with both eyes wide open. It's not the easiest thing to run. It's not the easiest way to make money, but it's an incredibly satisfying one. If you get it right, you can make a lot of money. And if you get it right, you're going to have happy customers. You're going to have people that appreciate things that you do. This is the Silver Fox. My name is Stephen Hickmore. Thank you for listening. If you want more information, then please go to hospitality.co.za and tune in to our next podcast.